So it's Sunday the 16th of March 2025. I think it's quite good today to sort of show you how I live and how I keep things fairly minimalistic. For that reason, it's probably better to just sort of show you around my modest accommodation and how I focus on writing my books and doing all those things really. The main thing really is to think about is about what we have in our lives, what we keep in our lives, and what value they really have to us. Because we all go out on this commercial enterprise, we all go out on this commercial spend, and we buy all these things and then we give it to charity further down the road, and we may keep them for a short time and may keep them through a long time. Sometimes we just buy things and keep them as gifts. And do we really need them? You know, that's what we need to ask ourselves. Do we really need them? I always say to people that I know and people that know me very well, which will say, well, you know, Carl always says, only have what you need. And that's true, but our needs change, don't they, as we go through life on this journey. We change the way that we view things, value things, how we act, how we interact with other people. And all those aspects of our internal environment as well as our external environment have an impact on how we view the material world, how we view material objects, how we view ourselves, in fact. So without further ado, let me just show you around about where I'm at and where we are. So that's good. So we'll just now, and as you can see, this is my little lounge. And it's fairly sort of basic and straightforward. It only has, again, what I need. Yes, you can see that I smoke like a trooper. With all my health and heart and lung conditions and things, I still smoke profusely. So that's probably something I don't need. So I certainly break away from that part. Computers, we all need a computer in life to communicate, do our things. It's fairly straightforward, isn't it? You'll see up there, I've got the wonderful place of Iceland. Now, it's an amazing country that goes back so much. In fact, quite a bit around here is the impact that Iceland has had on my writings, on my viewpoints of life, and most importantly, the views of the world, really. It's just truly magical there. Up at this particular area here is where one of my relatives descends from a place called Hofsosh, and we've been there, Janice and I, and we've had a good look round there, and we've had some very magical experiences and some very profound experiences, really, to be fair. So that's Iceland there. As we sort of pan round, we can see you know, the whole thing of the lounge. It's simple, but it's effective, and we can see that all we've got is just areas where I can sit down and contemplate things as well. Most people have that sort of contemplation area. This is a fascinating picture that I took over in October 23. A wonderful pyramid just outside Hofsosh. So the area back in the day, before the modern day world really, was called Burgania. Burgania. B-U-R-G-A-N-I-A. Burgania. You won't find much about it, obviously, because it's past history that's been buried and dissolved, really, I guess. So Burgania was certainly an area that was of heightened activity, for want of a better term. Up here we have the modern day, the family photographs. Now they're there, quite in a little black box there at the top. It's just to remind me about family values, and all my family have passed now, so I don't really have many valued family members left, in the direct line, that is. So I've got no direct family members left. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame, really. It is what it is. As we age, we lose family members, don't we, really? It's the way of the world, you know. We start off with very large gatherings, and as we go on life's journey, we end up with very little that we can hopefully most of us can count at least five people on one hand, so a person for each finger on one of our hands and the thumb. That would be good. We've got the staff that I use. I do use that in magical practice. So it comes down from the wall. It's got on a little bracket, so I can take it off as I choose, which is great. We've got some of the books that I've written under my name and aliases, and then we've got some lovely little pieces here. Obviously most people have a mirror in their lounge really. We have the tree. Now this tree is used in many magical practices that I do. So sometimes it's up there on the shelf and used from there. Sometimes it comes down to the centre of the room, becomes a centrepiece with a few other items around it. So basically what I've got in this lounge, without people generally realising, is an altar. Here we have the snake staff, the serpent staff, the staff of wisdom really. And again, that comes with the wall and is used infrequently because of the nature of what it's used for in magical practice. So the one that I use most frequently is the actual staff there. The snake, the serpent staff there, is used very infrequently. That's used for some very deep magic that is not for everyone's cup of tea really. So that's that. And you can see that if we look at my lounge, it's got an area where I can create a central altar. So to the everyday average world, it looks like it's just an average lounge, but it can transform into a central piece and ritual practice in a matter of moments really, to be fair. Over here we got a wonderful part of Hobsosh, another picture I took back in 2023. Amazing, just over there, sort of time without time, or time within time, however one wants to decipher it really. And again, we've got the only piece of jewellery that I have in the world hangs up here, and it's used, it comes down again to be part of my altar and used in magical practice. It's a small piece of iron, and it's from the sort of Nordic aspect, and that has more value and more magical properties to it than all this glitz and glamour with all the new age stuff that people seem to think, oh, we need to get into crystals and crystal magic and all that. Let's leave that for the modern day world. It's not required really. It's good for practice, it's good for rituals, it's good for learning things and attuning one's mind, but it's not essential to have all these crystals and things. You've got some of my origins there which are deep rooted to the old Germany and Dusseldorf, so that's amazing there. Note the white rose below, which just reminds us of the purity that everyone can achieve if they do choose to do so. So in other words, that you can have innocence and purity if you choose it, that everything's a choice. And the white rose does represent that. When people pass over, if funeral directors, crematoriums and things, we always see the white rose as something that is always present, always there, to remind us of innocence. So you can see I keep the colours fairly plain toned, cream magnolia as it were, cream and white, grey and black. Try and keep neutral colours, it's very good for the mind actually. Kitchen is a practical kitchen really, as it were, as we go through. And here we have Achill Island, which is a very profound place in County Galway of Ireland, Achill Island. If you ever get a chance to go in your lifetime, please do. It's the most energetic place. It's got a bit of popularity lately, but if we go back to the 80s, it wasn't so popular and it wasn't so interesting to people, but it's certainly gained a lot of interest over the years that have preceded the 80s really. Kitchen, you just have what you need again really. You notice I haven't really got any signs or symbols around as such, only the ones that I require for magical practice. We also have up here, if we can see, some of my Nordic aspects which are quite interesting. I do like those little metal discs and things, quite nice. That's rather nice of the Nordic aspect as well. So they're just there as aesthetics to remind me of my origins and remind me of what I need to be doing in life really, or what I think I should be doing in life. When we come to a bedroom, that's quite interesting. A bedroom should be plain. It should be simple. It should be basically basic. Again, you shouldn't have it cluttered because cluttering is not healthy for the body or the mind. So we have a simple room, nice and basic, And you can see that I have some of my sort of aspects of memories and things around, just to remind me of origins again. We've got Scotland there and the Highlands and Islands, which is lovely, with the Orkney Islands up there as well. And as we go round, we have again over here, if we can see, we have the Iceland Hofsós area looking down, which is lovely. Simple fan for night time. And then the only other thing we have there, obviously television if you choose to have some. A lot of people don't have TVs in their bedrooms because they find them off-putting or that they interfere with their sleep. But I do quite like to have the news on so I can see the news and see what's going on in the modern world. Here we have a lovely little map of Orkney, which is great. Again, it reminds me of origins. You'll notice in the top left corner there, around about sort of 10, 11 o'clock, you've got the little drawing there of the Ring of Brodgar, which is the most fascinating place on the entire Orkney Islands, the Ring of Brodgar. Again, if you get a chance to go there in your lifetime, please do. It's really, 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 really magical. And I hope to go back there again in this lifetime before I leave the old mortal coil this time round. Simple bathroom, nothing much there really to see. Nothing to see here, as they say. Simple bathroom. Again, it's all sort of neutral colours. And then we go over to here. This is a little hallway. Yeah, you've got your jackets and things there. But here is just some again of the interesting places that I've photographed. Now we've got the Whispers of the Baltic Sea. Very interesting. It was a very profound time in May 24, really, to be fair. May last year. At that point, and some revelations that I received. This goes back to November 23, the entrance from Strangi. Over in the northwestern or western quarter of Iceland, which is quite interesting. Note the lotus, the white lotus there. Some people say it's a lily, it's not, it's a lotus, white lotus for a reason. Has quite some significance in craft actually, the white lotus. So far we've covered the rose and the lotus, as anyone that wants to aspect it really. We have here, I don't know how much of that you can see, we have Hanko in Finland. Very, very interesting energies there. Beautiful, beautiful place. Has some very demonic energies, I guess, really. And then here we've got another part of Hofsós, and then we've got the wonderful area there. If we can see that on that photograph, it's fascinating, isn't it? That part there, you know. Yeah, the old story is state the obvious and it becomes the unobvious, and I think that's clearly correct with the Rock of the Oceans. The Rock of the Oceans there, I'll just show you that one more time. So there's the coastline there, and then we've got the Rock of the Oceans there, just in there, which is fascinating. Coming around to here, we've got another part of Hofsós there, and we can see there. And that's when I saw a little sea creature, which was quite fascinating. It was a creature that I've never come across before. And he sort of swam past in a very strange way. At first I thought it was a walrus or a seal, but it was neither. So to this day I still don't know what the sea creature was, but obviously he wanted to make himself known to me. And yeah, he just carried on swimming right out, really. Fascinating time. We've got the black rose here. You can see that black roses. Again, significant in craft. And if we come around again, that should be counteracted in balance by a white rose, which it is on the other side of the wall there. Another white rose to give the balance of black and white. Just in this little room here, this is like what I call a little quiet room. It's used infrequently, but it can be used when I'm doing different craft things and blessings and things. So hence it's set up this way that I can change it around fairly quickly to use it as a little altar room. We've got a grey rose here, which is quite fascinating. So grey. So we've got black, white and grey. Black spirits and white, red spirits and grey. Hearken to the rune I say. You know, there's phrases. It's quite profound, and it has lots of meaning really as we go round. So, and over here we have the sheaf, obviously, and then we have, I say obviously you wouldn't know that, but then we've got the black rose again, and we've got a little offering dish for when I want to do things here with blessings really, so that's the aspect there. And again, we have a white lotus up to there again, onto the wall there. So your home should be, and we'll just walk back through, your home should be basic. It doesn't require lots of garbage and junk. You know, give it to charity, give it away. If we think about when we pass in life, we pass. And we are placed in nothing bigger than a single bed. In fact, a coffin is smaller than a single bed, isn't it? It's not 3 foot long, unless you're a big chap or a big lady. But it's generally, as a rule, you leave this earth in nothing more than a single bed size, really. And yet we seem to have all these things that we collect and collate, crap, rubbish that we have. We don't need it. So only have what you need at that point in your life, and to be honest, it makes life so much easier. It makes life feel calmer, certainly does for me, and it gives more purpose to experience rather than material objects. And I think that's the key thing with anything that I write about. Everything's about experience. Everything is about what we experience in this lifetime, that we can take it onto the next existence, most importantly. I hope that's been quite interesting today. I've probably spoken way too much like I normally do, but it may have given you a little insight into how I present things and how I write my books and try and get the message out there to people as much as I truly can.